William Hill sponsors IFL TV.
I'm the man to beat Daniel Dubois. You're going to sleep.
Ask me about it.
KUGAN, CASSIUS, IFL TV, MTK Global. We're at the press conference here for this Friday night's Next Gen show, live on Sky Sports.
Yep.
Good little shows these, aren't they?
I love these shows, absolutely love them. I love going to York Hall, Bethnal Green, it's a fantastic venue. You know, we've been going there so many years now on Sky. I mean, I'm almost 25 years into this at Sky Sports, and before me there was, 4 or 5 years of boxing. And I think York Hall was the sort of go-to place back then. You know, the likes of Francis and Pofo coming through. I remember so many great fights at York Hall, and we've had so many wonderful world champions there, like the late great Johnny Tapia, and it's just a pleasure every time to go to Old Ford Road and have a cup of tea and a bite to eat opposite, and sit down, take our seat, and everyone's got a great seat or a great standing place in there. The atmosphere is fantastic. It's like a bear pit. And it just brings out something special in fighters, especially the London rivalries. They're always really good, and really looking forward to it. It's a great chance for the young talent to fight on a big platform on Sky live on Friday night, and really good matches. Can't wait for the Craig Richards fight. Conor Benn headlining for the first time, Shannon Courtney back. Just terrific. Ted Cheeseman as well. Want to see if he can rebound from the difficult defeat he had, and and an array of talent. Reece Pelosi around, so many. It's great.
Look forward to it Friday night, live on Sky Sports.
I can't wait. I know you like those as well.
I like the little Next Gen shows. They're good. They're just
it's great being at the Garden. It's great being at Wembley at the big shows. But there's something special. I get as excited about coming to commentate at the York Hall as I do anywhere.
That's up for debate because you were quite excited in New York.
Listen, it was an amazing story, wasn't it? It was one of the biggest upsets we've ever seen. Probably at ringside the biggest upset I've seen. We've had Lennox Lewis losing a couple of times to Oliver McCall and Hasim Rahman. We've had, obviously, back in the day, Buster Douglas shocking Mike Tyson, which I think still, for me, sent shockwaves. I was in America when it happened, and so it sent shockwaves around everyone, and I think that, for me, still remains the biggest. But it was huge, and, Andy Ruiz did something that very few people thought he was capable of. It was a terrific performance by Ruiz. It was obviously a tough defeat for Anthony Joshua, but we'll see a rematch. We'll see Joshua rebuild, and we'll see what he's really made of. And I expect him to come back better and stronger than ever. But it was Andy Ruiz's night. It was a great story. The guy from the Mexican borders who took the fight at 5 weeks' notice. Joked about the chocolate bars and the fatty foods, and he was the last guy laughing on the night. And you know what, he played us all week, all that sort of friendly stuff and holding the belts, and then when the bell went, he could really fight, and the hand speed was impressive, and he was gaining confidence round after round. Even I thought when he went down in the third round, he got back up. Even before that, he was starting to push the fight, and it was a bad night in the office for AJ, and it was a great night for Andy Ruiz. These things happen in boxing.
It was almost as if his demeanour in the build-up to that fight kind of played everyone into thinking. Would you agree with that?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I spent some time with him the day after he did a press conference in Vegas before the Canelo-Jacobs fight, and I spent some time with him the next day, and there was a sort of promotional shoot, and he did a round on the pads, a round on the bag, and he was huffing and puffing, and I thought, oh my God, what have we got here? But I tell you when it really dawned on me, when I spoke to Joe Parker on the day of the fight, and he said, you don't think this guy's here just for the payday. He's got quick hands, he's got more power than people think, and he gave me a hell of a first 3 rounds out in New Zealand, and it just made me think, have we underestimated him a bit, and obviously everybody expected Joshua to come through in a pretty solid defence, and when he went down the third round, it looked like that may happen, but you never know in heavyweight boxing, and when a guy's got a golden ticket and a chance, it's for him to take, and he took it, and Joshua was whether he was complacent or flat or whatever, he lost the fight fair and square. He took it like a man. He took it in defeat like I thought and hoped he would when he eventually did lose. I didn't think it would happen on that night, but he took it well, and it was Andy Ruiz's night, and the heavyweight landscape changes a bit. Tyson Fury came back on Saturday night. He didn't slip up.
What did you make of his
I was thoroughly entertained, I've got to say. I got up at Well, I didn't. I stayed up actually. I was watching the Super Series that we had, obviously, which was a bizarre and pretty controversial and pretty dreadful ending, I thought, to that fight with Bradis. But after that, I watched through Josh Warrington and Kid Galahad, which is a bit disappointing. I was looking forward to that. I thought it would really gel, and it didn't. I thought it was a very close fight. I thought maybe Galahad might have nicked it, but you know, I see what Frank Warren means. You've got to go and rip the title off a champion, and I don't think he really did that, but I think Galahad did well, and he did really well in the first half of the fight, and I think he'll come again. You know, Josh maybe had a slightly flat night for him after so many good nights, but he should head to Vegas next and take the Rowdy Leeds fans with him. But then I loved it. I stayed up through the night, and you know, the undercard was a bit tepid, but when we got to seeing you backstage, KUGAN, with Tyson Fury in the dressing room, you know, and I saw Ricky, you know, trying the hat on, and I thought, I want to be entertained now. And you know what? It reminded me a little bit of the days when Prince Nassim Hamid came out, and you know, it was a short fight. He was expected to win, but it was the way he thrilled the fans. And I thought Tyson Fury was great. I thought he was, when he came out in the black cloak and Fury came into the Rocky style, I thought it was terrific. It was great fun. You know, it was entertaining from sort of that moment all the way through. I thought he boxed really well. Yes, he was expected to win. Never thought he'd have any problems, and like Anthony Joshua was expected to win, but Joshua had a harder fight against Ruiz. I think, you know, Tyson had an easier opponent, but it was an opponent he could show what he's learnt with Ben Davidson. I think that's a relationship that's blossoming. I thought he beat Deontay Wilder. He didn't get the decision. I thought he looked terrific on Saturday night. I think he's, you know, arguably the leading light in certainly in heavyweight boxing.
Would you put him as number one heavyweight?
Yeah, you have to. Yeah. You know, Deontay Wilder. Listen, he'll sit here and argue, of course he will, because he just destroyed Dominic Breazeale and he put his name back up there. But if you're looking at the fight between Fury and Wilder, in my opinion, Fury won the fight. Was he nearly knocked out? Yeah, he was. And could Wilder knock him out in a rematch? It's possible. He got up, and it was a miracle he got up in that 12th round. But if you look at the fight as a whole, I thought Fury deserved the decision, and most people did as well. I think what Tyson's gone on to do is he's kept in great shape, put a bit more weight on, which was interesting, and had the power to go in and make a statement. Because I think what we all sort of worried about was whether he'll drift and, you know, outbox Schwartz, and it would just get a bit dull. Tyson went in there and did what he had to do. You know, he's got a new deal with ESPN and Top Rank, and I thought he was excellent. You know, he delivered. Great show afterwards with the singing and all that. And yeah, you've got to say that he's now the man. And of course, Andy Ruiz has got most of the belts, and Deontay Wilder's got a WBC, and you cannot count out Anthony Joshua, because Joshua was the man with all the support and the undefeated record, and who knocked out everybody apart from Joseph Parker, who he beat comfortably on points until that moment. So let's not just suddenly say, forget AJ, it's Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. The three of them are in the mix. Andy Ruiz is there, Dillian White, of course, who appears on July the 20th in a tough fight with Oscar Rivas. There's plenty out there now. Daniel Dubois, Nathan Gorman. There's a lot of heavyweights coming through. Joe Joyce too. But at the moment, you've got to say Tyson Fury, certainly to me, is entertaining, and he's the man to beat.
Just going back to Joshua, does Joshua need to go back to Madison Square Garden to put this right?
It's an interesting point, and it's a big debate. Does he, you know, some people think he shouldn't go straight into the rematch. He's got the rematch clause. He's going to try and win the belts back, and it's admirable. I know he's talking about, do I go back to New York and sort of right the wrong, the scene of the crime, all of that, and that's, you know, that's big pressure on the shoulders to go back there and do it there. I mean, it would be slightly advantageous for him, I think, to have it in Britain, whether it was at the O2 and you make a statement there by saying I'm not going back into a stadium fight just yet because I'm the challenger, or whether he does it in Cardiff, or if the rain held out at somewhere like Spurs. But, you know, I don't know. We'd love to have it in Britain, of course we would, because at 10 o'clock at night it's a huge, huge event for us. If it goes back to America, it's still a massive event. But for him, he's got to make the decision. He's got to make the decision whether he's entirely comfortable going straight back in with Andy Ruiz, which he seems to be. Once that's done, he's got Rob McCracken in the team. Does he bring anyone else in? Does he keep it as it is? That's another decision to make. And then a big one. Does he go back to New York? Does he go to Mexico? I don't know. I mean, that's even bigger in many ways. I don't think that will happen. I think it's either New York or Britain. But it's making a big statement if he goes back to America, because, you know, it was the worst night of his boxing life. But look, as I said, he took it like a man. Andy Ruiz was better that night. he goes back. Lennox Lewis took 2.5 years before he went back in with Oliver McCall. He rebuilt under Emmanuel Stewart. He didn't get a chance. When he got the chance, he was right and ready to take it. But with the Rackman defeat, he went straight back in because he believed that that was a fluke. And he went back in and he went to America and he did it. So, I don't know, it's interesting, and I look forward to speaking to Anthony and finding out what he thinks.
Okay, Elvis Smith, thank you very much for your time, and I'm sure we'll catch up with you again over the weekend.
Cheers, Kugan.
All right, top man.
William Hill sponsors IFL TV.
I'm the man to beat Daniel Dubois. We're doing a sleep.